Hello, welcome back to another episode. I am going to continue where I left off last time. We were talking about the parable of the servants who either invested and grew or doubled their talent, or the servant who hid his talent, right? So, what does that mean? In the previous video I said that maybe the last servant who hid his talent did not really know the master who gave him that one talent. He thought he was a hard man and he didn't really know the master. And it makes me think about a lot of kids and their parents. And again, sometimes we see God the way we see our parents. So in this case, maybe some kids see their parents as a hard man or a hard woman because they don't really know their parent or parents, which is really unfortunate. I mean, if they knew their parents, they would think of God differently. So, why would I say that they might not know their parents? Is because sometimes parents don't tell their kids everything, especially what's going on in their world. Like, it's difficult, their work, what happens in the workplace, what happens outside of the home. Kids don't really know, and they don't understand the pressures and the different things that happen outside of the home. In the same way, I think a lot of people in the workplace, they don't understand the responsibilities and the difficulties of being a boss. So, if they knew the boss better, they would do their job better. What do you guys think about that? So I heard of this story once, and by way of illustration, um, it wasn't until like this employee talked to the employer or the boss and found out like all the different pressures, all the different difficulties it is to be an entrepreneur or to run your own business, that he understood that this person wasn't hard. He was just trying his best to keep the business afloat. And especially during this time, in the world, it's not the easiest thing to keep your business running. A lot of people have to work from home. A lot of people have to do this and that. Very different. This is a whole new world. This is the new normal, as they say now. So so maybe we need to get to know God in a different way, and we need to get to know our parents and our boss or whoever we think is a hard person when they might not actually be a hard person, right? So one way that we tend to hide our talents is okay, let me just rewind a bit. So what is our talent? A talent, some people think our talent is a talent, but in this case a talent is like something precious. It's not their ability or their skill. It is actually like in those days it is actually equivalent to their money, their currency. So sometimes people they hide their true abilities or true talent or true skill because they don't want to um, how do I put this? Sometimes they rather do the easy thing and not the hard thing, right? So anyway, let's move on from talents, and I think you kind of get the idea that we need to not be afraid of God in that way, that thinking that He is a hard God or a hard person, when He, as we, as people have often said, that God is love, God is caring, God is this and that, He's compassionate. So in a sense, we need to get beyond the fear of God being afraid of God, but obviously fear Him and reverend Him, and set Him aside. He's in a completely different category. A lot of times we tend to be afraid to love, to give our heart away, to risk loving. So we prefer to be in a safety zone. And when I think of the parable again of the servants and the talents, I think about some people who don't risk enough. Investing is risking, right? Investing your life, investing anything, is in a form, in a way, it is risking. So sometimes we run the risk of rejection. We run the risk of loving and getting hurt, but that's just how it is. So when Adam and Eve hid from God, like, why were they hiding? Were they afraid of God? Were they afraid of rejection? Were they afraid of getting hurt? Surely they know God better than that, right? So fear sometimes causes us to hide, and not just from God, but from other people as well. And sometimes we run away from our own solutions, our own cure. Like sometimes we take the long route, and we end up doing all kinds of stuff that is a waste of time. We go through many detours. So what can we do to get to know God? Again, is God hard to find? And like I also said previously, I think God is looking for us and not necessarily we looking for God. Sometimes we need to get beyond what we're thinking and get to what we're feeling. It is quite tricky, I know. Sometimes we think that what we are feeling is actually what we're thinking, and sometimes we confused what we're thinking with what we're feeling. So how often, when you were young, did you try to get your parents' attention and you did not get it because he or she was busy with other stuff? Not because they didn't care for you, not because they didn't love you, right? But because they had other cares and concerns and things they had to deal with. Pressures and concerns and matters of the world that you don't really know about and you couldn't even comprehend if you were told what they are. So God is different. God is not like your parent, right? He's not like your parents who are busy all the time. God is busy. He's not busy in the same way, right? He can answer everyone's prayers at the same time. He can listen to everyone's prayers at the same time. He can do all kinds of stuff. He's God. He's in a whole different category, like I said. So when we think about God and we think of him as cruel or hard or mean, some people even think of God as bad and evil, which is completely false. So God is reliable. Sometimes people that we know in our life, parents, friends, siblings, they are not as reliable. God is completely reliable. He is considerate, and he's compassionate, and he's kind, and he's completely good. He's 100% good. So like I said, some people see God the way they see their parents, and I'm not sure if that's your experience. Is that how you see God? If there is, then you need to examine that. Some other people see God in the way that that God is very legalistic, I guess. He has lots of rules, lots of things you need to follow. He has lots of commandments. He asks you to do this and that and the other thing, right? He's always asking you to do something, and he sometimes he can be sometimes you feel like he is vengeful, or you might think that he is distant or punitive, that he likes to punish people. He doesn't. So think about it. Like, God is God. God is not like your parents. He is different. So moving on. If you read Genesis before, and I hope you did. If not, go read Genesis, the first 5 chapters. But we read in the beginning of Genesis that we are created in the image of God. So sometimes people see that, okay, so like just like we are made in the image of God, we are made in the image of our parents. So they see themselves in the image of their parents, right? But then again, I say that that's too small a view. That's too narrow, right? You are you may be like your parents because you are genetically made in the image, but in the image of God is not necessarily like the physical image. It could be the makeup of you and the characteristics and personality and all the other things, and having a spirit and having all these other elements to you makes you much more than just like your parents. But um, just like we're creative because God is creative. God is our creator. All right, so I'm going to end it here and I will continue tomorrow. So I hope you have kind of gotten a different view of God in this video, and I will see you tomorrow. Take care and see you tomorrow.